Hello, what is up, everyone? As always, this is Jeff.
I'm Edwin.
Yeah, this is frantic. I don't know, dude. You
And
starting
we're
it
tilted,
off.
not stirred.
Yeah, it's just starting it off kind of got me tilted, man. I don't
There
know
you
what's going
go.
on.
Yo. What is up, guys? How's it? How's your week?
It's been good, man. It's been good. Hung out with the homies yesterday. And yeah, just been chilling, playing some Mario Strikers.
The game looks kind of cool. I'm still on the fence whether I want to buy it or not. We'll see though.
Do it.
We
I mean, as
shall
a
see.
hardcore game, like as a hardcore fan of soccer, and an enjoyer of Nintendo, this meshes really well, and it's fun. But even I can tell you that it's not at this point in time. It is not worth this price tag.
Oof. Damn.
It'll
Well,
also never dip below 50.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is kind of how Nintendo games work. And speaking of games, the Warriors are one game away from winning the championship. And I'm not really a Warriors, like a Golden State Warriors fan. This is NBA people, by the way. But, they're not the Celtics, and that is very important.
It's kind of weird because you don't think about the Warriors now as being that juggernaut they used to be. They're kind of not a good team like on the regular season this year. You know what I mean? They weren't
Yeah.
talked about like they're going to get there.
It
But now they're here and
it
they look like they belong.
It definitely seems like they're peaking at the right time. But yeah, other than that, today's topic, we're going to be talking about the 5-0, the Popo, the Ops.
Where the gunshot sounds. Did you bring your,
Gunshot? I don't have...
Nope.
That's all I got. I got an air horn.
Just roll the
No.
intro.
no bad boys?
No, I
Where'd you
maybe I
go?
should have...
Where'd you go?
maybe I should have come a little bit more prepared with that.
Hey, why are you so sweaty? I was watching Cops. But Cops doesn't start till 4.
Alrighty then. Shall we get the challenges out of the way?
Yeah.
All right. Well, out of the way, I did none, so I get a negative point to
What? Edwin, how
Zero
could
effort
you?
from Edwin.
No, Edwin.
Yeah,
Wow.
I'll take that.
Whack.
I'll take that.
Jeff?
I did one of the two challenges.
One of the two. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Wait. So you didn't take a smiling selfie?
I did not.
Come on, man. That's all I wanted. A Jeff selfie.
Yeah, we still need to put a selfie on that website.
What do you mean? That's
True.
totally me on the website. I'm a hot grill.
You know what's kind of weird is that we've been friends for so long, and I can probably count with one hand the amount of pictures we actually have of all of us together. We just don't take pictures, really.
Yeah.
Maybe we should, or else there's no like historical data that we were even friends.
Big.
I mean,
true.
when we're old and looking at like albums and shit, we're gonna
Yeah,
be
just
like,
zero pictures.
did I even have friends?
Yeah,
So how many challenges did you do, Frantic?
I did 2 of them.
Oh, you did both? Oh, shit.
Oh.
Yes,
Should we start with the
sir.
poems?
We could definitely start with the Well, I mean, I can do the children's YouTube deep dive because it was very uneventful. I don't know if it counts, but basically, I was looking at some Minecraft videos because I'm like, that seems like a good place to start.
Right.
And then it started devolving into like Five Nights at Freddy's content.
Naturally.
And I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna stop here. It's too fucking weird. I don't know how kids don't get
You could have gone
nightmares.
deeper, man.
No.
Could have gone deeper.
That's
You
as
haven't even-
deep as I go.
You didn't even cut the creepy pasta line.
No. That is the start of the creepypasta line, and that was it for me. For those who don't know, Five Nights at Freddy's is a game where basically there's like you're stuck. Well, what are you? You're like a security guard, right? Imagine a Chuck E. Cheese, and the animatronics at night basically try to kill you. And so the whole point of the game is to not die. and you have what do you have? Security cameras. You have lights you can turn on and off, and basically what you want to do is know when they're coming, so you know kind of when to. I don't know. Not look at them. I don't know. It's a creepy game. No. But yeah, let's go to the poems. I don't know if does that count as a children's YouTube deep dive.
We'll
Dude,
let Edwin decide.
I'll give it to you.
Thank
You
God.
looked. I mean, you looked at the line. I mean, you were there.
I was
Wait,
at the line. I was like
so-
at the border of the line.
We
and I
didn't
was
quite
like,
get to Elsa Gate though. I wanted to see some Elsa Gate, man. I wanted to see Elsa murdering Spider-Man or something, you know?
So
Is
did
that
I?
a thing?
Yeah.
Did I misunderstand
What
the
the
assignment?
hell?
I was on YouTube Kids. Was I supposed to be on YouTube Kids or was I supposed to be on regular?
I mean, that was
YouTube?
one way to do it. Yeah, you could have done it either way.
YouTube-
Were you watching like people opening packs of mystery toys?
That Ryan kid came up, yeah, for sure. But I didn't get to anything creepy and I just gave up. So maybe I was in the wrong section. I've seen those weird videos where they have like characters everybody knows, but they're like killing each other, or there's blood, but then they use stock sound effects to show emotions and stuff. It's kind of weird. Kids love that shit though. It's kind of
Yeah, I don't know. There's no kid in my life, so it's kind of hard to ask them. Like, hey, kid, go up to a random kid in the street. Hey, kid, what do you like to watch?
So my nephew likes to watch this guy who puts a Spider-Man mask on and he pops balloons.
Mm-hmm.
Is that considered creepy? I think it's kind of fucking creepy.
That's pretty weird, yeah.
Your entire channel being you popping balloons.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know
Popping
how the
balloons
fuck
are-
you found them.
It creeps me out. Balloons creep me out, even in real life. I feel uneasy if there's a balloon next to me.
You know what creeps me out? The fact that my nephew was like 1, barely, and he already know how to skip ads, how to do the whole shebang on fucking YouTube. That shit was creepy.
Probably letting out a sigh whenever they can't skip the ad. They're like, what kind of shit is
This
this?
is 5
God
seconds of
damn
my
it.
life. God damn it.
15 seconds. Have you the 30-second
Those are the
unskippable
worst,
ad?
bro, yeah.
Oh man,
Dude,
me.
the
Got me
relative
good.
the relative time in that is pretty hardcore for a 1-year-old. So yeah, YouTube deep dive, Jeff. Oh, you're the one that did it, right?
Yeah.
Alright,
that was my
so-
challenge.
Ooh, so we're going into the poems, or should we save those to the end? It'll be a nice
We can do them now, or else because people aren't gonna make it to the end.
People
right?
might not listen to them.
Yeah,
All
the
right, let's
poems
do
are
it.
very important.
Let's
All
do
right,
it.
Make sure you get your snapping fingers ready.
Do you have some sort of soothing music we can play in the background?
I have the sounds of nature. This is all I
There
got.
you go.
Okay.
Okay, all right.
Feeling pretty soothed. All right, go ahead.
Jeff, you can go first.
All right. I wrote a haiku, and it's titled "Tilted Not Stirred."
Okay, I'm gonna stop the ambient sound.
Hey, Frantic, at the end of this, we have to snap.
Yeah, of course.
All right, so listen to our show where we discuss random shit. It is really good. Thank you. Thank you.
Wow, incredible, unreal.
Thank you.
Oh
Yes.
wait!
amazing.
I forgot. I totally forgot to. Wait, do I even have? Oh,
This haiku does.
I have that. There you go.
Aw, this haiku doesn't tell you what's the name of the show. Maybe that's the
It was
title.
titled "Tilted Not Stirred." You get? Did you?
Oh,
remember
okay,
that
okay,
one?
okay.
Come on, dude.
Nice.
Do you even read?
Shit.
All right. Mine's all right. My poem. It's called Bent.
Hmm.
Where are we going? A slight right, a slight left. What has you so tilted? Where are we going? You have what you have, but can you have if you ask not? Where are we going? A melting pot. Beautiful weather. Don't get it twisted. Why are you so stirred? On this journey, I head out to see and see the world around me, around us. Legacy. Tilted, not stirred. Listen. Tilted, not stirred. Love. Tilted, not stirred. Family.
He's not a rapper though.
He's not a rapper.
Boom, boom, beep, bop, pow.
Hey, I'm snapping.
There it is. My first ever slam poem, guys. What do you guys think?
Yeah,
I think
it's pretty good. It
Dunk-
invoked
Was
a
the
lot of
delivery
emotion.
good enough?
it's
Yeah,
pretty
there you go.
dunktastic, dude.
Dude, wow. It's my first time reading it out loud. I kind of got excited. Like, oh, wow. This
Dude,
is
the
powerful.
emotion. The emotion you're reading it with, man. Ooh.
With my with my monotone
I was
voice, was I
moved.
able to convey that? The emotion?
Where are we going? You
Yeah,
know,
I had
that was-
yeah,
ooh,
there you go.
it got me. I like that part. Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, man, this was a
Alright.
good challenge.
Yeah, I like
Hey.
that challenge, actually. I enjoyed writing that.
I should have partaken in on it, even though it was my challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. All right, that was fun, guys. That was real fun.
Oh, man. As
Uh,
far as next week's challenge, I still haven't thought of it.
Yeah. For those who are curious, Edwin now sits at 6 points for his -1. I'm at 5, and Franek is at 6. Oh, 7.
Ooh. Oh.
Yeah, you
wait,
took
what?
the lead.
I'm in
Oh,
the lead
shit.
now. Easy. Edwin's sleeping.
Yeah,
Caught
I
him
took
sleeping
a-
for a week.
I took a L this week for sure. This weekend, I guess, we hung out with the homies. Jeff was there. It was really fun. Went to go get coffee and stuff. Went to fuck around the Bass Pro Shop. Pretty cool shop.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we just kind of looked around. I was hyping myself up to get a knife, and I was like, I don't need a knife.
You buy guns, brother. Do they sell
Um,
guns?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they do.
The NRA was there.
Yeah, they're like join
Good
the
people.
NRA. And then we went longboard shopping for Denise. We couldn't find anything, but it was a fun experience just to be. We went to pharmacy, Jeff. Pretty lit there.
Cool, cool.
Oh, is that at Victoria Gardens?
yeah.
yeah,
Cool.
it's pretty fun. And then today, I went to David Chang's restaurant in L.A. Pretty fucking awesome.
Who's David Ching?
He's a professional. He's a chef, a professional chef, I guess. He's a chef.
Okay.
Big fan of his. I read his book. I listened to his pod.
Wow, very
he's-
cool.
He's one of the main reasons why we eat ramen in America.
Amazing. That's incredible.
So it was pretty good. I went to his restaurant. You're supposed to get the pork shoulder balsam, which is a big pork shoulder that, they give you lettuce, and then you do lettuce wraps and eat it. But there was only 2 of us, and that thing feeds like 3 or 4. So we didn't get that. And we got other food that was weird, but fucking incredible. You know what I mean? It's that kind of stuff that you're watching a cooking show or something, and they're like, oh, we're mixing this and this for the balance and all that stuff. And you're like, I would never eat that. That seems pretentious. And then you eat it, and you're like, all right,
Sweet
I get
baby
it.
Jesus.
I get it. I fucking get it.
Interesting. I've never been to anything that fancy or that or like a professional. Hell's Kitchen seems like a cool place to go eat though.
I definitely want to go there. We going or what?
I just want to get yelled at. What do I have to say to get yelled at? He's
Like,
probably not
play.
even there.
Yeah, he's
He's probably not there.
I'm gonna go and he's not there. I'll be like, what the fuck is this?
It was nice to see the line cooks. He's just cooking. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There's a guy that goes in there and he has a microphone, and he's just like, "Oh yeah, someone just ordered this," and all the line cooks just kind of do their thing, and it was incredible. Watching the guy making drinks. This guy was just out there making drinks. The little bartender guy. This guy was so like focused on his craft. It was incredible. Like just watching him be lasered focused. Oh my god. I don't know. The whole I was just ecstatic to be in a place where, you know, the bartender just appreciated what he made. Everybody was just so locked in. It was beautiful.
So what was this place called?
It's called Mayordomo. It's
Mayordomo.
it's in LA. You know, I took a little tour of Little Tokyo while I was out there, and then a little tour of La Placita Olvera. It was real nice.
Oh, you had a little LA day. That's cool.
Yeah.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Jeff, anything cool happening your week before we get started?
Nah, just hanging out with the homies. That was cool. Not much else, really.
Right on.
All right. Well, let's get started with our topic for today. So I saw something kind of disturbing last week, and I kind of wanted to talk about it. And it had to do with Border Patrol. And I saw something super. At first, I was like, okay, what the hell is this? Right? So basically, the post on Instagram read, the Supreme Court just ruled that Border Patrol can enter any home without a warrant and assault you within 100 miles of the border. And no, you have zero federal protections if they do so. And with a little infograph of like which cities are within this 100-mile border, because it's not just like the northern border or the southern border. The coasts themselves are also considered borders. So basically according to this infographic, nearly 2 out of 3 people live within the 100-mile border zone. And I thought, like, wow, I wonder, like, if this is true, this is wild. But kind of on par because of how crazy the Supreme Court is right now, because it's not even, folks. And so yeah, I had to do a little bit of digging before I kind of explain all of that. What did you guys see it by any chance online?
Yeah, I saw like the Reddit posts, and I was like, damn, that's fucking wild. Thank God I'm not near the Mexican border. So much for that.
Got him. Edwin?
Yeah, I wasn't aware of any of this, so here we are, about to get deported.
Well, shit. So let's see. So basically what happened last week is that the Supreme Court they made a decision that will prevent you from suing an officer for damages while they're doing like a search or for like whatever it is that Border Patrol does. You can't sue them for damages. And it's a little weird, but we're gonna get through this, folks. So basically, what happened is this case involves an owner of an inn near the Canadian border. So this was something that was going. I was gonna say going down, but it's actually up because it's up in the Canadian border, and basically the owner alleged that the U.S. Border Patrol agent used excessive force against him while searching through his inn. And to make a big story short, basically 6-3 Supreme Court decision. And it was just short of overturning a 1971 Supreme Court decision, actually, that established the ability to sue a federal agent for damages. So the 6-3 decision basically was against the innkeeper. And this innkeeper wasn't a perfect victim, I guess, if there's such a thing. But so basically this innkeeper, according to the article I read, was kind of a shady guy. His inn is called the Smuggler's Inn. And So as I mentioned, it's near the border of Canada. It's in Washington State. A lot of shady activity passes through there, like drugs, human trafficking, through that town. So already, I guess the Border Patrol kind of has a reason to kind of be a little more aggressive in this area because it's kind of known that these kind of things happen. And this innkeeper is actually also a paid government informant. So a very interesting dynamic there. So basically, the innkeeper had a confrontation with the border control. The border control agent. He says that the agent used excessive force. He sued, and all the conservative justices in the majority, the 6-3 majority, basically were the ones that kind of struck this down. The reasoning behind all this is that so the majority's opinion was that if it's a border patrol officer, regardless of where he is, what he's doing, national security is always implicated with anything that border patrol does.
What?
That is the majority opinion. The dissenting view is that if so this agent just happens to work for the border patrol, but what he was doing is the same thing that any FBI agent would do. He went to somebody's property, he used excessive force, and the person he encountered was a U.S. citizen on U.S. property. And that's basically the opinions there from the judges. So basically, Border Patrol, regardless of what they're doing and where, because they're a different type of law enforcement that has to do with national security and foreign affairs, that they can kind of get away with this stuff. So it's kind of weird because we find ourselves in a situation where you have your Fourth Amendment right as a U.S. citizen, where it's basically like, how do I put this? It's against unreasonable searches and seizures. So people can't just walk up, the police and stuff can't just walk up to your place. They need a warrant, etc. So basically, your Fourth Amendment right is still intact. But if a border patrol breaches it, you can't sue them. But they're doing something unconstitutional. So it's kind of weird where it's like, it's not allowed, but you can't sue them for it. So
Can you
I guess
sue
it
the
is
agent
allowed.
itself and not necessarily the state or like
You can't sue the agent. If they're actively doing their border patrol job.
So you can't sue
Then-
the agent and you can't sue the agency either, right?
Well, I would assume no if you can't sue the agent.
What stops other agencies from being like, "Hey, Border Patrol was good. Y'all don't know y'all can't get sued, but could you go check this out for us?"
Yeah, I mean it's definitely a huge issue. It's not to the extent that I saw on social media where the Supreme Court ruled that the Border Patrol can enter into your home, but effectively that's kind of what it is. So it's them. I don't want to confuse people. It's not the Supreme Court saying you guys can go into people's houses. It's more of
If you do, you're not gonna
if you do it, you ain't gonna get in trouble. Yeah. Exactly.
Same shit.
Yeah, and it kind of sucks. I don't. It kind of sucks is putting it lightly. It severely limits, like one of the ways that you can deter law enforcement and the government from like doing any kind of shady misconduct kind of things, because usually you'd just be able to sue them, and that would be kind of a deterrent. And now there is no deterrent there, so. Shall be interesting to see how this goes moving forward.
Hey, we're the land of the free, though.
Hey,
Remember that.
you're free, man. You are a free man.
Just remember that.
So have you guys ever had an interaction with a police officer?
Yep.
Okay.
I have a couple of times, yes, and luckily nothing weird happened to me.
Yeah, because I never have. I've never been pulled over. I've never gotten a speeding ticket or anything like that.
In high school, I was told to get a haircut by law enforcement, or by a cop.
That's some shit, dude. And I mean, we'll get into this a little bit later in the podcast, but I do kind of want to talk about policing and schools. Um, but my experiences with police have been got pulled over once because one of my headlights was out. But then I just turned them on and off. I mean, off and on, and then they both turned on. So the police officer's like, "Oh, well, guess you're okay. Just make sure you get that checked out." I'm like, "Okay, cool, thanks," and that was it. Another time, I was sitting in my car about to leave, and I was at a friend's house, and the cop pulls up, and they said that they got a call that there was somebody weird walking around the neighborhood. And I'm like, well, I just got to my car and I'm going to go home. And they asked me if I had been drinking. I told them, yes, I drank a couple hours ago. And they just told me, yeah, you should don't drive. And I'm like, okay, cool. I won't drive. And they're like, okay, well, that's it. And then they left. And then like 5 minutes later, I just drove home. That has been my interactions thus far.
Well, I work with law enforcement agencies, so kind of limited of as to what I could say. So
Right.
Yeah,
yes.
Edwin is a narc. He's an op.
He's actually in there. He's in there. He's our mole.
He's a fed.
Edwin's gonna give us a scoop one of these days. He's gonna write a book.
A tell-all.
But yeah, just the reason why I wanted to bring this stuff up is because there's, I mean, everything from like defund the police to the opposite side wanting more policing, and whether or not you guys think that more police is the answer or less police, without really getting into like gun laws and stuff, because that's a whole nother issue. And I was gonna talk about this a little later, but I guess we could just talk about it now since Edwin brought it up. Because Edwin, you said you were in high school, right?
Yeah.
When they told you to cut your hair, and
Yeah.
would you like to explain how your hair was back in the day?
Yeah, I guess the interaction was I was in a friend's car, and the guy pulls up, flashes his, the light that's on the side of his car, super bright, flashes us, can't see anything, and he's like, "What are you guys doing?" "Just chilling there, officer." And then he's like, asks us a bunch of questions, and then he's like, "And cut your hair," and then he like drives off. And my hair, I had an afro back in the day, a pretty large one at that. And yeah, it wasn't bad. It wasn't a horrible experience, but it definitely could have gone sideways if an inkling of attitude or disrespect would have been coming from my side. Yeah.
That's some wild ass shit to say to somebody, and maybe this is just us looking at it with like the lens of modern day.
Well, just recently, last year, I was told, "Do you think your hair looks professional?" By a member of my, law enforcement agency. Yeah, they were like, "Hey, do you think your hair looks professional?" And I was like, I mean, what the fuck do I say to that? You know what I mean?
It's all, does my hair matter?
I was like, yeah, I think so. I think this is my hair. I can't do anything about it. And that's all I said, but
Yeah, see, that's some wild ass shit. And maybe I've been drinking a little bit of the Kool-Aid lately, because I've been so what's this guy's name on YouTube? Basically, I've been watching like a YouTube channel. Let me look it up real quick. His name is FD Signifier, and he basically talks about black media analysis and reviews, and he's kind of opened my eyes to a lot of like the microaggression type of stuff, and a lot of the things that I'll never understand because I'm not black. But it kind of got me looking now a little bit into like these microaggressions. And before I used to just kind of laugh it off. And it's like, this is some stupid ass shit. But then if it's something that you're facing every single day, every moment, and it's kind of just like, well, goddamn, dude. I can kind of see now, like, maybe I'd make fun of liberals back then, but now it's kind of just like, okay, like I'm trying to, be more understanding and all that.
Well,
And,
they're just trying to catch you on a wrong day. They catch you on a
yeah.
wrong day where you're not up to remarks like that, and you're gonna need to stop resisting right away.
Yeah.
You know
So,
what I mean?
like you're saying, like them telling you to cut your hair, it already kind of pissed me off a little bit. But then it reminded me also of, I saw this John. You guys know who John Oliver is, right?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
He did a segment about what do they call them? The police officers that are at schools. They have a special name.
Like a peace officer?
Yeah, I think
Security?
that's what they're called. Something like that.
Well, no,
Basically,
'cause
talk.
all police officers are peace officers, you know?
Yeah, well, depending on what, yeah.
They're like kind of like the school security or school on-site police officer, basically. And he was kind of talking about the validity of claims that, in order to stop the shootings that happened at Uvalde, Texas, that we need more cops
What?
at schools. And at first I was like, okay, well, that is one solution, I guess. I don't know what the proper way to handle that kind of situation would be. But he was talking about how studies have shown, and I know this is like a satire show, so it's not like everything is supposed to be like 100% factual. Some of it is jokes. But one of the things he said was that it's been proven that when there's more police within the school, that students, primarily students of color, have a tougher time in school because they get targeted, specifically because of the color of their skin. And when I heard that, part of me was just like, well, maybe these are just kind of like the shitters at school, because if you guys remember in high school, maybe this is just because we went to a school that had, like, the majority was the minority. So we would see a lot of quote unquote bad kids. But it kind of got me to think, okay, what about a school where the majority are white kids, and then there's, I don't know, maybe like a 5% population of students that are black.
Well, like, okay, let's think about it this way, dude. No, well, go ahead and make your point.
Well, just the point that I was gonna make was just, okay, I'm thinking about it, and if these 5% of students feel uncomfortable and uneasy when there's a police officer around, then how are they supposed to excel, and how are they supposed to perform at their best in school if they already feel like the police officer's gaze, or they already know that the police officer is making his rounds and he goes to specific classrooms and they feel like they're being targeted, much like if you're a person of color and you're getting followed around at a store. Like, you didn't do anything, but then there's already that little...
I've had that happen. It's fucking wild.
Yeah, so that's kind of like the point that I was making, that I was kind of getting to, that they can't perform to their best if they're already feeling uncomfortable at school.
Well, let's look at it. We can attest to this because this is what we were raised with, and this is what we saw as normal. When I went to college, I heard the complete opposite story, and I was completely baffled. Okay? So, we didn't have open lunches in our campus, right?
Mm-hmm.
We couldn't go anywhere to go eat at our lunchtime. And if you did, you had to write your name down and all that stuff till you can go out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was fences.
We were gated
around.
in.
Yeah.
We were gated into the school. All right? That's another thing. The whole thing was treated as a prison. We were totally gated in. We had to check out and check in. And then on top of that, we had no lockers. Like schools everywhere have lockers, except for
Didn't
our
we
school.
have the lockers on the walls, or oh no, they were removed.
Yeah,
weren't
we
they?
didn't have any lockers for fear of weapon stashing and shit.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So all these things that we saw is like, oh, this is just my high school experience. It's not just a regular high school experience.
Mhm.
It's an experience catered to the population of the school. I have friends that were like, yeah, we had open lunches. We can go wherever you want. The school is wide open. People can come in just in and out. We had
Right.
those tall lockers that are, quintessential to every show you watch and stuff like that. You see people standing in their lockers, and that's what they had. And that's something that completely missed us in our high school experience, and we had a bunch of police around.
Right. What I will say is that there was a riot
The year before we got there.
the year before we got there, but I'm pretty sure all these things were already gone before even like the riot started. So
Yeah.
it's just a point. Yeah.
Is that a self-fulfilling prophecy or?
I don't know. If you're treated like a criminal, do you become a criminal? I could kind of maybe it's not like a solid argument, but like you said, a self-fulfilling prophecy. There could be a little bit of that. If everywhere you go you're treated like the bad guy, at some point, I mean, if you fall into it, I don't know. I guess maybe you can't attribute one thing to the other.
You can't. You really can't, because everybody's different, right? The way everybody's going to react.
You can't prove causation or anything like that.
We
yeah.
were part of that environment, but I mean, we're tame. We're tame
Mhm.
as fuck. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know.
Yeah, it's not to say that law enforcement doesn't have a place. Like for example, did you guys hear about the 31 white nationalist members that got detained in Idaho?
Yep. It was a pride rally, right? And they all showed up armed and masked up.
Yep. So an anonymous tip, basically somebody called the police saying, "Hey, there's a bunch of people getting climbing into a U-Haul truck. It's kind of weird. You should check this out." And yeah, they found them near an LGBTQ plus Pride in the Park event in Idaho. And yeah, so what the police chief Lee White, he spoke to the media today. Today's Monday, by the way, June 13th, 2022. So the police chief said that they, receive. Okay, so since detaining these 31 members of this white nationalist group called Patriot Front, they have received over 100 calls to their office. Half of them applauding the officers for the work, and the other half calling basically life threats and the like for arresting these people that are basically geared to cause a riot. He said that Monday there was a clear level of preparation that you don't normally see every day. And says officers were able to understand immediately that this group had ill intent planned. So just imagine a bunch of white guys all inside a U-Haul truck, and police officer pulls over the U-Haul truck and opens the back door, and boop, there it is, a bunch of assholes ready to basically, I don't know, cause a riot, cause some harm to the folks over at the Pride event. And just like at every Pride event, there's always a counter Pride event as well. I also read a little bit on that there was like another event, and people were over there like praying or like, doing their usual their usual stuff.
I was like, what the fuck does one do at a counter Pride event?
Well, I mean,
guess
like
you can-
holding up the Jesus is love sign and like you're going to hell
if
signs, shit
Jesus
like
is
that.
love, in a way, yeah. You know what I'm
I
saying?
mean, it is what it is.
There's a song by Jose Gonzalez. What's the point of a love that makes you hate and kill for it?
Maybe you just love to kill.
What's
But,
the point of love? Yeah, go ahead.
But anyways, body camera footage from the police and other details will be released later. They didn't give a specific date, but should be interesting to see kind of how that unfolded.
Dude,
Just
actually,
imagine opening it and it's just a bunch of white dudes about to cause some trouble.
It's probably going to be really funny because they're going to be like, oh, hello, officer. How are you doing this fine evening? We're just going to go crack some skulls. You know, they're probably like fully expecting support from the cop.
some queers.
Yeah, we're just going to go stomping some people.
Oh my god, that's horrible. God
And
damn
the cop's
it.
like, yeah, you can't do that.
We're on our
You're
way
gonna
to
be arrested.
Arby's.
So that kind of proactive policing is obviously only possible when they have like a tips or they have somebody calling something out before it actually happens. Unfortunately, cops are kind of always there once the crime's already occurred because they can't. It's kind of a weird thing where I guess it's not weird.
You know, it's intense.
Can you handcuff someone if you know they're gonna commit a crime but they haven't committed the crime yet?
Yeah, that's a whole
Conspiracy.
ethics.
Can the cops stop you from doing something you haven't done yet?
Yeah, it's called conspiracy.
I guess if there's conspiracy, sure, but like, let's say you're just standing in front of a house and like you haven't broken into the house and you don't have anything on you that looks like you would break into the house, so like they can't arrest you, right?
I forgot what it was, but I remember there was like I think it was when they were arresting people for the January 6th riots. And all these people, when they were being interrogated, were just super helpful and super explicitly detailed on what they were doing. Because they were just like, oh yeah, you know, we're all fighting for the same cause, right, cops? You know, this is what we were doing. We were there just like what you guys believe. And it's just, you know. So I think that might have been what also happened here, where they were just like, oh, it's the cops. They're on our side. Let's go with them.
Yeah. So basically, this is kind of a rare W for police and law enforcement because usually the news is always kind of covering the bad stuff. So sometimes they do the good stuff. But with that being said, there's always kind of like bad apples when it comes to the police. Like we all know this. But I do find it very weird because I kind of do listen to both sides, like the right, like the conservatives and liberals, right and left, right? You have the people who want to defund and their points, and then you have people that like basically idolize police officers like as if they could do no wrong. And they support the blue and all that kind of stuff. And like, yes, I support the blue as well, but I also don't think that they're free of any kind of guilt.
During the whole Black Lives Matter stuff, everything got out of hand from both sides, 100%. And the whole Blue Lives Matter movement, I get the premise of it, right? You're doing your job, but your job doesn't define who you are as a person.
Mm-hmm.
When you start drinking the Kool-Aid that you're a hero just because of your profession, that in itself gives you a complex that you could do absolutely no wrong.
Yeah, man. Or people who think that because they have the gun, they're strong now. They're suddenly really brave.
Yeah, and when
That's
there's been a
some fucking
history,
bullshit.
there's been a history of oppression in colored communities, you know, that primarily law enforcement, you know, carries out those orders. There's a fine line we have to walk in regards to respect for the people, because the people doing their jobs are putting their lives on the line,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's a stressful, it's a very dangerous job, but at the same time, just because you do the job doesn't mean you're not a human being and can respect other people for who they are as human beings. So it's just losing sight of who you are based on your profession, which is kind of
Well, all this goes back to the training, right? Because from the start, it's very much us versus them mentality with training like police officers. Rather than teach de-escalation, they teach, hey, this is the enemy, this is how you deal with them, and so on. So it's like, they need to not view us as the enemy. They're
Yeah,
supposed to serve us and protect,
not having gone through the training myself, I can't really speak to like exactly how rigorous the training is and how much de-escalation is emphasized.
well. During that time, I spent a lot of time, too much time, watching videos of that same exact situation, the de-escalation situations, and or the lack thereof. And I watched the video where this Asian woman's having a mental breakdown. She's a professor at a university, and she's having a mental breakdown. And the officer, is supposed to hand her an eviction notice. He knocks on her door, she answers, and she has a knife because she's having a mental breakdown. Now the officer's like, put that knife down. He brings his gun up and he's like, put that knife down. And she's way hysterical. All he's supposed to do is give her this eviction notice. But he's drawn a gun now. This whole situation, she closes the door and decides, I'm going to bring a police dog in and knock again after I've already given her this eviction notice. This lady opens the door and this dog and 4 other policemen go inside. And they're trying to de-escalate the situation by everyone screaming and the dog is going ballistic. This lady is already hysterical. So one of the cops gets a little too close and the lady stabs him.
Oh boy.
And everybody just fucking unloads on this woman and kill her. And it's just like, what the fuck, dude? You were just supposed to give her the eviction notice. Slide that under the door. She's in there. Fucking slide it on the door, go home. Do something. Talk to her. And this, typically, like if you want to profile, this lady does not fit that profile.
Mm-hmm.
She's a professor, Asian American. He's going through something, I don't know.
I mean, it definitely seems like, okay, if you're not don't pull out a gun. If you have to pull something, don't they carry like a baton or like a nightstick type of thing?
Yeah, something.
I don't know. It seems kind of weird that they go straight for the gun, especially if it's a knife.
Exactly. There's been a lot of like, there's a knife, I'm gonna shoot, and it's kind of like, I don't know, man.
I mean, you're talking about people that are putting their lives on the line every day. Every call they go to, they don't know. It's kind of like rolling the dice. Every call that they get to go to a situation, they don't know if it's just going to be an easy, like, a couple arguing, or if it's going to be a couple arguing, but they have weapons. Like, you just don't know. So I can kind of understand why they jump to the gun, kind of using the gun as a deterrent. But I think for a lot of people, they see a gun and that kind of just, I don't know if it makes the situation worse, but it definitely puts things kind of on that edge.
Kind of freaks you out.
Yeah, because it's you're on that now. You know you're on this thin line of like, am I gonna die right now or not?
The
When
fight
it
or
was-
flight, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and a lot of people when they enter that situation, if they feel like they're doing something wrong and they see a gun out, they might just start running, or they might attack, or whatever it is, instead of, I don't know. It's kind of like a case by case thing, and training. The point that I was trying to make earlier is just it feels like we're asking the police to do a lot. And maybe they should only be called in very specific situations. That can kind of be an alternative. Not this isn't something that I've like 100% thought through, but people have argued that like if there's like a non-violent thing happening, like why are cops heading to that scene? Why not take someone else? But anyways, it feels like the training is definitely not adequate, or people are just wild, and since we're like tame people that kind of like have our feelings in check, we can't really understand how some people can freak out like that and how bad people operate, because we ourselves are not bad. So I don't know, a lot of mixed feelings there. I don't know about the folks at home, how they feel about law enforcement.
It's a touchy subject for sure.
I mean, it's not even touchy. That's what I don't understand.
For me, is why do the firefighters have a line on their flag? Everyone likes you guys, man. Stop.
Guess when I said that the police isn't a touchy subject, it's more of like me just saying like why does it have to be? Why does it have to be like this?
It's because of the us and them thing that Jeff alluded to.
Yeah.
It's an attack. It's an affront to the whole entity as a whole.
I think I read somewhere or heard that police officers don't have to put their life on the line.
Yeah, I think it's a court ruling that they don't actually have to abide by protect and serve.
So they're
If they feel in danger, they don't have to do anything.
They can act high and mighty against the weak, but when a shit pops off, they can hide in their car if they want, and that's it.
Yeah, they're under no obligation to help you.
Well, ain't that some shit?
So what do you think we should do as a society?
I definitely think that as bad as things have been, and as bad as the stories have been, and like the unjust killings and all that stuff, I do kind of feel like a community as a whole should try to, is the word embrace? What's the word? Cultivate a good relationship with your local police.
Let me tell you this. There's been, I'm not gonna say this way too much. Actually, I'll tell you after the pod. I'm not gonna put this. I'm not gonna put this out in the public and get something.
All right. But yeah, so I said cultivate good relationship with the police, because can you imagine the community where the folks in it are really receptive to the police and they're very friendly, and the cop themselves feels, it's kind of weird, but like if the cop feels safe and feels like the community's got his back, his or her back, or their back,
Let me tell you
They
about
might be
something.
able to do their job.
Nah, man, it should
Better.
be the other
No,
way around.
not at all. Yeah.
It's on them to make us feel safe, not the
No,
other
no,
way
it's
around.
it's see that's the problem.
It's
right
on
there, I
them to
think.
make the onus to like better their community
It's got to be mutual.
because they have the direct impact to do so.
So there's a
They
thing
can
that
they could do proactive police work. You know, they can walk a beat. They can, you know, they can make themselves known. They can be like, hey, I'm new to this block. I'm working this beat. If you have any questions, use my personal phone number. I'll be more than happy to help you out. You know, things like that are what they need to do. We shouldn't have to go out of our way to find the cop that patrols our area.
It's so if a cop's walking on the street and there's a new cop you've never seen before, you wouldn't just go introduce yourself like, "Hey, I'm Bob and I live in this area. How's it going?
no.
Are you new here?" See,
let
I
me
think
tell you.
that's- I
Wait,
think
let me
if,
tell you about
I
something
think
that
it's-
happens.
It's a little weird that like if we're gonna shit on the cops because they're not doing their job, I feel like as responsible people like in society, we should also kind of extend a hand as well.
Let me tell you what happens as soon as you turn 16 and you're black. Your parents sit you down and they tell you, if you get pulled over, you are black. Let me tell you how you're supposed to act. Call the officer, you know, name him by officer, be respectful, maintain eye contact, no sudden movements. That is something that happens to every black person when they're 16 and your parents really, care about your safety. They sit you down, you're going to start driving, and this is how you get pulled over while black. I think the community is doing enough to be respectful and kind towards a policeman. If they get that that talk by their parents, they're going to, react receptive to what the cop is saying. Now that goes out the window once a policeman starts treating you like a delinquent from the get-go. Because what is the instinct that happens when someone's accusing you of something right away? You defend yourself. I didn't do
Right.
that. And when you say I didn't do that, suddenly you're resisting. Suddenly you're raising your voice. Suddenly you're too upset and you might do something fucking crazy, so I'm gonna draw my gun on you. That shit is insane to me. We don't get that sort of talk as Latinos. You're gonna be driving out there. This is what you do. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of fucking crazy to be out here talking about our experiences and stuff, and at the same time, there's some shit that, yeah, sure, you can go introduce yourself to a cop, but now they know where you are. And if they're one of that bad apple few, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not offering a solution. I'm more of just like, if there's gonna be a culture change, and if we ever want to get to a place where police is viewed as good rather than someone to avoid, then I feel like being friends with them is kind of like where it starts. But I understand well, at least I kind of recognize that there's a lot of dangers potentially in that. I just don't know how else you would do it other than,
It's on.
I
the
mean,
police officer.
if you remove the police officers completely and you put in, I think I've heard people say too, like why doesn't like the people kind of like a community watch, or like people themselves kind of patrol the streets and stuff, but then that's even sketchier.
We get George Zimmerman.
Yeah, exactly. Is there a way? Because it kind of all goes back to racism, and like removing racism is kind of like I don't even know, the golden question. Because it kind of it's kind of cynical, but I feel like racism is always going to exist. And what do? You can only be a cop if you don't have any kind of bias.
I mean, yeah, that's how it's supposed to be. That's literally how it's supposed to be.
Well, clearly there's a bias.
Yeah.
I don't know. The thing is, it's become a polarizing subject where if you're on one side, you won't listen to the reason of the other, and it's kind of shitty. Along with a lot of different subjects in our communities and society as a whole, we can't talk about them without fully entrenching ourselves in what we believe.
Mm-hmm.
And wait, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I encourage folks to kind of listen to both sides and stuff, because I'm in the process of consolidating as much as I can arguments from both sides to make better opinions about stuff. But I feel like at the end of the day, I'm left with more questions than answers, and realize how. Again, I used to make fun of this, but like the whole system being like corrupt and like systemic racism and all this kind of stuff that before I used to think were just buzzwords, just kind of like, well, fuck, man. There's some truth in this, and it's kind of hard to say because you want to believe in the systems that you're brought up in.
I mean, the systems that we're brought up in are now using women's bodies against them, which I don't know, man. There's so many things. I like I said before in an earlier topic, there's way too many things that are wrong and you should care for. Pick a few and try to stick to those, because there's just way too many things and you don't have enough bandwidth to care about everything. There's a lot of issues, man.
Yep. But yeah, that's basically it. Before we dive any deeper, I guess we should end it there. Unless you guys have any other thing you guys wanted to air out before we close this episode out.
Fuck the police, no justice, no peace. I just wanted to say that.
Well, I guess I'll bring us to the end of the episode. Any closing thoughts, Edwin?
I mean, should we go the other side too? We'll be like, hey, blue lives matter too, guys.
All lives matter, brother.
Fuck that noise.
Fuck all that shit. That's the shit that pissed me off, man. Because, like, I understand what they meant by all lives matter, but, like, it's kind of like this isn't your moment and you're trying to, like, why you gotta feel like you gotta be included in everything, man?
Do you know what would have been a better message? Black lives matter too.
Well, that was the message. It was just an implicit two.
I know, but, like, the two should have been stated. Because everyone got their panties up in a bunch. And got real fucking heated about, blue lives. That's not even a thing, but here we are. They got heated about, fucking... The flag has way too many colors on it now.
It's just kind of like the nature of whenever something comes up that starts becoming part of the culture, there's always the counter to it. And sadly, ever since Trump came into office, it kind of emboldened people to be more vocal about their counter to like the way the culture is moving. But yeah.
Mike Tyson said it best. People are getting too comfortable talking behind their desk.
Yeah, man. You guys see the video of Mike Tyson beating up some dude in the airplane?
Yeah. That was fucking fantastic.
That was great.
All right, where can they find us, yo?
In jail after this podcast?
Whoa, hey, chill, dude.
Fucking dead in a ditch?
Come on, man. It's hot. I just want this episode to end. I'm boiling over here.
You can reach us at our website, tiltonusser.com, or at our Instagram. You can listen to us on iTunes, Spotify, and the YouTube.
Remember to join us to share your questions and voice your thoughts on what has you tilted, not stirred.
Bye.